Thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Remember, great products start with great manufacturing. Since making my IKEA air quality sensor project, there's been a few comments saying that the inside of the case, where the temperature, humidity, pressure, CO2 and VOC sensors are sitting, is being influenced by the heat of the D1 Mini. Now, we can't add compensation to these sensors directly because the VOC and CO2 sensor needs to be told what the environment's like inside the case. Need a small run of PCBs? PCBWay's got you covered with high quality boards starting from just $5. But wait, that's not all. They can also assemble your components too and bring your projects to life hassle-free. And remember, it's not only PCBs. There's no need to order from a range of vendors, as PCBWay can do it all with their range of 3D printing and metal fabrication services. Whether you need FDM, SLA or even metal SLM printing, they've got the technology, the materials and the power to bring your designs into the physical world. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all things prototyping and manufacturing. Use the link in the description and unlock your creativity today. So what I've done, on my shelf behind me, I've got an RNet 4 sensor, which gives me temperature and humidity, as well as CO2 and others, but don't worry about those. I've also got one of those Xiaomi temperature and humidity sensors, and then those two are right next to my IKEA sensor. As you can see, the RNet, which I'm going to assume is calibrated, is currently sitting at 22.3. The Xiaomi temperature sensor, also 22.3. But the IKEA sensor, which has the D1 Mini inside heating it up, is currently 27.3. Same for the humidity. RNet 49, Xiaomi is 53, and the inside of the IKEA sensor is currently 38. So I'm going to add compensation to both of these to get these in line with what's outside the case. To do that, in ESP Home, let's just close up that sensor to give us some more space. So here we can see the CO2 and VOC sensor. This is currently using temperature and humidity coming from these two entities. So I've got temperature here from the BME 280, as well as humidity coming off the same sensor. Now, as I said before, the CO2 and VOC sensor needs to know what environment it's measuring within. I need to keep the temperature and the humidity the same for this to use, but to send out to Home Assistant, I'm going to make another pair. So first of all, let's just copy this off of here, and then down here, I'm going to add it. And I'm going to say this is for that sensor. Next, I'm going to take all of this. Let's just scroll up a little bit. So I've selected all of that. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift and press the down arrow key once. That's going to duplicate it. And then just to tidy up, I'm going to add a new line there. This then I'm going to change. I'm going to change that to for HA. And all I'm going to do here, to the end of each one of these IDs, I'm going to change it to HA underscore HA and underscore HA. That gives me a set of sensors that the CO2 and VOC sensor is using with the IDs of BME temp and humidity. Again, these are up here. Next thing I need to do is these sensors here, because they have a name, these are going to come into Home Assistant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the name of each one of these. In fact, I'm going to delete pressure completely from this section because I don't need it twice. I'm going to keep the names in the copied section. And for this set of sensors, which will now come into Home Assistant because they have the names, so replace the ones that were already there, I'm going to add some compensation. So let's have a look at the first one, which is temperature. So these two are the same. And this one, let's say that's 5 degrees above what it should be. I'm going to go into temperature, add a new line. In here, I'm going to go filters, colon, add a new line again. And I'm just going to use offset for this. So I'm going to do an offset of -5. Simple enough. And then I'm going to select all those, hold down the Alt and Shift, press down arrow once, let go of the Shift, and that will enable me to move this down a few lines. I'm going to put it under the humidity now. And the humidity, well, that's 49, that's 53. Let's take the difference there. Let's say it's 50. Just make it a nice round number. So that's a difference of 12. So the offset for my humidity, I'm going to plus 12 to it. And let's install it. So I can do that wirelessly. That looks like it's about finished. So we're going to go back to here. This will be unavailable while it reconnects to the network. And we'll wait for that to pop in. Right, that's popped back in again. The CO2 sensor will take a little while to do its recalibration on a power cycle. But as you can see here, we've got the, what I'm going to say is calibrated because it cost enough. 22.6. The Xiaomi temperature, which is heads at 22.6. And my IKEA Studio sensor is now 22.5, which is 0.1 of a degree. I can live with that. And then again for humidity, 48, 53 and 50. So again, close enough. Obviously you can change your offsets to something a little bit more closer if you so desire. So there you go. We've got one set of temperature and humidity inside the case. that the CO2 and VOC sensor is using, because that's the environment that it's in. And then we've got another set of temperature, humidity coming out of the sensor into Home Assistant, which we can use for our automations, because that's a little bit closer to what the actual room is. Well, I hope this video was helpful with your projects. Please do share it so others can find it as well. I upload videos whenever I can, so subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified. That's it. Thanks for watching.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.